It's the Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelious.
It's Sunday, it's the Jaden Show. I'm Jaden, and welcome to a very super special show. I'm going all the way back to sunny old England to meet a phenomenal actress, singer, classical crossover soprano. She's amazing. Her name is Natasha Hardy. She is such a lovely, lovely woman with such a beautiful, beautiful, superb voice. You're going to love this show, so please stay tuned because we have some music from her and a big chat coming up. How are you doing? How's it going in your world at the moment? You having a fun week? Has it been really great since the last time I spoke to you? Let me know. Let's chat. Let's see what's going on. Let's not wait any longer because I'm desperate to show you this song. It's called In Too Deep. This is Natasha Hardy. Check it out.
I am blinded by your beauty, but I can see the light. I'm hanging on a tightrope, baby. I am 50 miles high. Help me, I am falling down. Don't want to hit the ground. Want to stay above the waterline. I am drowning out the sound. I only want to be here now. Come in closer, pull me in against the tide, 'cause I'm in heaven. Shadows of a bittersweet kiss lingers on my mind. Fought my way out of the darkness, leaving her behind. Help me, I am falling
Well, I am sure you will agree with me that this woman not only is completely beautiful, but has the most beautiful voice as well. Let's not wait any longer. Let's go and chat to Natasha Hardy, our very special guest. Natasha Hardy, welcome to Mexico and the Jaden Show.
Thank you so much, Jaden. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking. How are you in tropical London?
Well, it's actually been really nice weather today. It was, I think it peaked at about 17 degrees.
Oh, that's summer weather.
Yeah. So I almost got my bikini out today.
Okay, well, down to Brighton.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been really, really nice the last few days. So fingers crossed.
It continues until December.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it became the spring equinox. I think it was spring equinox yesterday, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So hopefully the weather will continue now.
Yeah. Although I don't want to worry you, but my mum, on her 13th birthday, she's 76 now, but she did have snow in June. I think that's what Vanessa Williams was singing about. Yeah. 23rd of June, she had snow. And I remember being there one Christmas, it was 14.5 degrees on Christmas Day. Returning for my mum's birthday in June, and it was 13.5 degrees in June.
Like global, it's just evening everything.
Yeah, I think it's just that I'm in the best place, to be fair. So lucky you got a mate in the tropics now.
I'll be over.
When you need that bit of bronzing on the Caribbean. So have you got like a little studio set up?
I have actually. I've actually just moved house, so I'm still in the process of getting it sorted. But yeah, I've got a little home studio where I record my own vocals, and obviously because the last couple of years has been kind of COVID and having to work, globally, but not actually with anyone in the studio. I've actually got really, really techie. Had to learn like OBS. And I've become quite a techie freak now, and I'm pretty good with recording vocals in Logic and stuff. So,
mate, you need to come, because this boy really stupid, like really can't. It's like telling me to rewire a bloody house. I'm looking at Logic and I'm doing YouTube tutorials. I'm like, that button ain't on Logic. I just don't know. So, okay, you're booked. You can stay here today. I need Logic tutorials, mate. That's
I understand. It is not easy. It is not easy. And I tell you what, I'm so glad that there are producers in the world, because my ideas, like, they go into Logic and then they go from Logic to a producer, and then they can make it sound good, because what I end up with is some nice raw vocals, but it's like
you need that magic.
Can I give these to you now? And then they do all of their little fairy dust on them.
Absolutely. God bless them, man. And what a job. Like, I just know, just having to like cut and get rid of, because I've got my little studio here, but like I have so many birds in where I live. But there's always like bird song, and on some things it's really quite nice to have these really kind of crazy ass bird sounds in the distance. It's quite difficult, but I'm just like, oh my god, it takes me hours to chop and cut and split, edit, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't ever want to be a producer. Like, it's never ever my bag. Just give me a microphone, let me sing a song.
Let me sing a song. Actually, I'm in the middle of sorting out some marketing for a single that's going to be released soon, but I will tell you about that in due course.
Well, we need to be scheduling in a little bit of a promo chat as well for a Jaden Special.
Exactly. I'd love to come back and share the news with you, but I will tell you this: I would prefer to have birdsong on the vocals than the traffic. Or
absolutely.
Or a mower, or next door mower.
Or a neighbour shouting, Arthur, it's your bleeding tea's ready, come. Yeah, no, it's just the joys of London, right? You don't have to be in the jungle. So you're only 18 years old, so how long have you been singing now?
Well, I'd love to be 18. Well, actually, I wouldn't love to be 18 again. It was a nightmare being 18 the first time out, and I would never want to repeat it. But I have actually been singing for about 20 years.
Wow, okay.
And
an overnight success then?
An overnight success, exactly, as it always is. But about 5 years ago, I decided to concentrate on becoming my own artist.
Amazing.
Rather than singing other people's songs and
and
singing
being pigeonholed into something that you don't necessarily want to fit in.
Exactly. And because I actually came into music later in life, I actually wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
And I started singing just to add a feather to my bow, so to speak. I never thought I wanted to be a singer, and when I first moved to London, I kept seeing loads of ads for actresses that can sing. So I thought, oh well, I better go and get some singing lessons, because I could hold a tune but nothing special. And
well, no, we've just seen your video. I think you can hold a bloody good tune, darling. You don't even need a bucket for that.
I can now. And so I started having singing lessons with this lovely teacher, but I didn't really understand anything about classical music. And she started training me in the whole classical style. And I just fell in love. I actually just fell in love with it, because I'd never experienced it before. And the more I did it, the more I became much more passionate about it. And so it just went on from one thing to another. And I kind of decided to put the acting on the back burner and then concentrate on singing, because I just loved it so much, you know. Amazing. And and that was kind of like about 20 years ago now. So,
it was kind of, I had the kind of very similar story. I was a pop boy in the 90s, doing literally working with everyone. Like, it was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
But then I got older and I couldn't be asked to learn dance routines, and I just didn't find anything kind of edifying in the stuff that I was, until someone introduced me to Josh Groban and that kind of stuff. Because my voice, even as a pop boy, people used to say, oh, you should be in musicals because you've got this real kind of poncy voice.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll start. And literally I remember just being in a really bad way in my life for that particular time, and watching Il Divo on the Royal Variety performance, and rest in peace, Carlos, a fucking amazing singer. But watching them sing, I'm an R&B pop boy, so singing Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton in Spanish, which is probably one of the most sexiest languages on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I want to be doing that shit.
Yeah.
So that was it. I went and literally had half-hour, 45-minute lesson with a phenomenal mezzo-soprano from the US in sunny Devon, right? Yeah. And because I was piercings and tattoos and I was singing Nessun Dorma, everyone was like, oh my God, this is like the bad boy of classics. So I just, all of a sudden, it just set me apart from everyone else and put me into a genre that I felt deeply, passionately in love with, completely.
Yeah.
But now, as I'm getting older, and I think I've had this conversation with other artists on these shows as well, that COVID kind of has like burst open the barriers. Like, you might be a classical crossover artist, but if you want to sing a Whitney Houston track now, or you're always going to be Natasha Hardy with your voice singing the stuff that you love. And because now you have to evolve, and the industry really is from your laptop. You know, you can do whatever you want. It's been so freeing. So I can do a show where I'm doing Elvis, Pavarotti, Whitney Houston and Dua Lipa, and nothing sounds odd, because they're all beautiful ballads sung with my voice.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so amazing about the voice as an instrument. Mm-hmm. It is consistent. It doesn't matter what you sing. You are the instrument, and it is like a violin. You know, you are the violin.
Absolutely.
And you carry it, don't you? And you give it life where it didn't have life before. And that's why I'm so passionate about the classical crossover genre, is because it can break boundaries now, like never before.
I mean, fusions are beautiful. Sarah Brightman with her Harem album and putting that kind of Middle Eastern Turkish flavors in. Incredible.
Exactly. Oh, we have to talk more.
Yeah, we do. I think a collaboration is on the books for the future.
I think so.
I think we need to be doing something. So when you're sitting at home with your hair in curlers, your cigarette, your cheese sandwich, and your woolly socks on, what are you listening to?
What am I listening to? It's an interesting question, because it really depends on my mood.
Okay.
It really, really depends on my mood. I'm I'm really sensitive to sound, which is obviously, as you know, as an artist, it's a blessing and a curse.
It's a curse.
It is a curse.
Because after 30 years of singing, I've now got tinnitus.
Yeah.
So I've been in front of big speakers for 30 years now. Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I actually want to listen to music without any vocals at all.
Yeah, me too.
Just so I can just chill and relax. One of my favourite radio stations is Chill. I think it's Chill FM.
Okay.
And they literally just play like really, really relaxing music. And so that's kind of like that's probably what I have on my radio in the kitchen when I go and make a cup of tea, something just to calm me down. But then when I want to get into my vibe of, you know, actually what if I'm going to, like, say, write, or I want to start really concentrating, I'll listen to things like Haven. I don't know if you know, heard of them, and Two Cellos, which are they're very male voices, and they have like this fusion of classical vibes within the music, but with a pop kind of feel to them as well. And so I really find inspiration from male artists, actually, because when I was learning to sing, I think it always comes back to your roots. When I was learning to sing, I always realized that I could sing what guys sing. Like, I could sing George Michael songs. Right. I could sing things that, you know, other people couldn't sing, and I never really understood it. I could sing Diana Ross. And so when you're a soprano and you just you haven't got like this mezzo voice. Yeah. I think it does develop what kind of music that you listen to.
You lean to as well, I think, yeah.
Exactly.
I never listened to I didn't like one guy singer until Josh Groban, funny enough. So that was kind of in my mid to late 30s. So before, it was always, and because I'm old, it was always like ABBA, Olivia Newton-John, Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick, you know. So I grew up wanting to be them. I wanted to sing, "Do you know the way to San Jose?" But obviously, I'm a little white boy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I was always I was the opposite. I always found my inspiration in female singers and the power soul vocals of Whitney Houston and Dionne Warwick and the Winans and all these different people. But now, because I have that flexibility, and now I kind of own my voice and own my craft. I think after 30 years of working it, I should do, really. Yeah. But now I'm really happy to put in a Elton John or a Pavarotti or a Josh Groban or even a Oasis track and feel quite comfortable, you know, like with my interpretation of that as well. So I think when you're sitting at home and you chill, if you're going to go out for a curry with the girls, right, what would be your kind of putting your makeup, getting dressed up, going to song?
Well, I mean, I'm going to show my age now. Like,
you all know you're only like early 20s, so like
21. Well, I'd probably find an old CD, because I still have CDs, or I'd probably try and find it on Spotify, old CDs, and I'd probably listen to some kind of like terrace mix from like Cafe Del Mar,
really?
Or kind of that kind of vibe, and then probably like Kiss classics kind of vibe as well. I mean, the trouble is I've got a really, really massive range of music that I like, and then it comes back to, you know, what mood you're in, and the music for me, I mean, the having a nice evening is like the terrace mix, but me on my own probably getting ready is something, you know, like I'm going to be embarrassed to say it now, but you know, that those kind of songs like "You're Absolutely Gorgeous" and all those kind of.
Owning up to this is going to make you go feel pretty normal compared to mine. Mine is "Come Here, Rude Boy, Boy" by Rihanna.
Oh, I love it. That will just get me in the mood. I'm there.
We're very similar. I think we're the same pod.
I think so.
That's amazing. So did you not find it particularly unusual that your genre of choice ended up going from kind of like Cafe Del Mar, do you know what I mean, like to the kind of semi-dancey electronic music to singing like this.
Well, this is the thing, and this is the thing that has like is helping me develop my artistry, because I did actually go under another name for a while called Jasmine June, and I wrote a whole dance album, but it came out much more poppy, whereas I kind of like much more deep house kind of music. And so eventually where I think I'll end up going is trying to merge the two kind of sounds, the sounds that I'm currently doing, into something.
As Natasha Hardy.
As Natasha Hardy. But as you know, it's trying to find the right producer and getting the right vibe and everything. But yeah, it is strange considering I liked that genre of music. To the flip side of when I'm learning to sing really lovely classical arias, is there's the operatic side of everything. Because the first time I had ever heard of an opera was on the Faithless album. I was like, what was this? And it was just beautiful.
To me, it was Evanescence. That kind of operatic voice with that deep rock kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want to be doing.
Exactly. And so I think over time I tried to fit my voice into other things, and you just can't do that, can you? You are what you are.
Yeah, well, I think
and you have to
you can fit your voice into other things. I just think that as long as you're not trying to be different voices. I mean, like me, I was a pop boy in the 90s, so pure pop, working with, you know, Elliot Candy, who was Spice Girls and Take That, and going out to Europe to work with like the Red One and oh my God, Max Martin group that were like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and things like that. And then I discovered classical crossover. So then all I'm doing is, you know, who can say for certain, this kind of vibe. And then I come here and, you know, like I'm kind of having to rediscover myself. I'm having to sing. There's some amazingly beautiful Mexican classical singers, and they're all kind of, I mean, the mariachi, and even it's all kind of classical music, but with shitloads of guitar and trumpet, or with this whole new flavour. So I'm obviously a little white boy, and I'm coming out here singing kind of classical Mexican tracks. I get a lot more attention, but my voice worked with that. And then I met a guy, and he said, "Man, I'm a reggaeton rapper and artist. Let's put a track together." So I'm like,
"Oh wow,
why not?" So we recorded. We both wrote. He wrote the rap. I wrote with him the melody and the verses and the middle-lays, and we put this. I'll send you the link. Actually, we put this reggaeton song together, and it was amazing. The only thing, the problem was, like last time I did pop, I was in my early 20s, right? So I was young, I was slim, I was pretty. And then we do this new video in the beautiful place where I live. It's a stunningly beautiful place. And they show me a flashback of the video, and I'm like, oh my God, what's my bleeding father doing in the Caribbean Ocean? Like, when did that happen? Like,
when did that happen?
In my mind, I'm still that 20-year-old boy who's back into his pop stuff again. And it was like, raw, man, that's like 30 years have gone since I've been doing that stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I'd love to hear it. It sounds
I'll send you. But I think you will always find something when you love something that your voice just fits in. And I think that's a fun thing now, because, you know, like I said, now COVID has kind of really damaged the foundations of our industry on many different levels. We know how fragile we are as artists, and you can't be pigeonholing yourself, because you've got to take as many opportunities as you can, because you don't know when that next pandemic is going to happen, you know. So I think it's kind of burst open the doors. So now I have a friend who was in the Canadian tenors called Joey Niceforo, phenomenally beautiful singer, phenomenally beautiful human as well. You know, and he was singing. He was in the Canadian tenors. Then he formed a group called Destino. But then he decided he wanted to sing "The Winner Takes It All" by ABBA and record it in Abbey Road with the London Philharmonic Orchestra, London Symphony Orchestra. Yeah. But he's still singing ABBA, "The Winner Takes It All," pure blood pop ballad, but with his voice. I don't want to talk, and it worked. It was like. Yeah, beautifully worked. Like more than beautiful. In fact, it probably should have been that style in the original.
Yeah, well, this is the thing I think also about good songs is like if a song is written well, it can translate. It can actually translate into anything, can't it? You know, and I love when people take pop songs now and put the classical vibe on it. They really, I think it makes the song even more worthy of what the probably the original songwriter wanted it to be. And as you know, what happens in the studio, we write a song with a piano usually, don't you? A piano or guitar, and when you're singing it, it sounds all really lovely, and then it depends on who the producer is. Once they get their hands on it, and who wants to, what audience it's going to go to, it really then depends on how the track ends up. But when you pull a song back down to its bare bones, it's usually always really beautiful. I can't say that for all pop stuff nowadays, I must admit.
It's a bit more conveyor belt now than it used to be, but
exactly.
But a ballad is a good song, you know, at the end of the day. When you're writing, like, actually no, that's not the question I want to ask you. Do you prefer being in front of people performing, or are you happiest in the studio writing and creating?
Well, luckily I'm a Gemini.
Oh, and so both.
Yeah, so I can split exactly 50%.
Okay.
And I know when that is when I'm ready to do that. It's like, I this is my baby, and I've finished. You can
now I can present it.
Yeah, now I can give it to you because you know I've heard it enough. You know, you can have it, and I think that's part of being a creator, isn't it? Is knowing when you've had enough of it on your own, and it's like when we start to learn a new piece, isn't it? Even?
Absolutely.
You know, we play around with it in our own time and how we want to perform it and what we want to, you know, accent and what our trills are going to be, and that's all our private time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then once we've got that, we're like, okay, we're done. We can. Yeah.
Cool. Next.
Yeah, and then it's like the cycle happens again, and I feel.
Well, you also find as well that the more you live with that song, the more you perform it, the more you sing it. That even when you're happy with it, and this is it, and this is the flavour I want to give it, if you recorded yourself singing that in 2 years' time, it would be complete, because you think, oh my God, I want to put that kind of that wave on that note, and I'm going to drop that bass, but I'm going to go right down on that note and build it. And you end up getting always get a new flavour for the stuff that you do, right? It's wonderful. Yeah,
of course. And I mean, sometimes I do occasionally listen back to Lost in Love because it's been out for a couple of years now. And I'm like, I wouldn't sing it like that now.
Oh no, that's the same with all of my pieces. Absolutely.
You know, but that is the lovely thing about recording is that it is that time in your life that is how you were feeling, and that was your voice at that time, and it's you know, you have it for eternity. And that's the joy of singing is. But
you're also an artist, so if you want to redo it and put the new flavour to it in 2 years' time, then you can, because you're the governor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You say what goes, so it don't really matter.
I love that, the governor.
Governor. So what's happening with Natasha Hardy at this moment in time?
So, well, basically, I spent the last couple of years. Actually, my father died a couple of years.
Oh, sorry.
About 3 years ago. Thank you. And so obviously it's been a really tough journey to kind of get back to feeling like I really, really wanted to perform again or even write or anything. And so last year, mostly last year, I was recording like a collection, I would say, of cover songs, because I didn't feel like writing. I'm just too raw, and so I think this year now is going to be all of these cover songs being released, and I'm really excited for people to hear a kind of a different side of my voice. Because when I recorded Lost in Love, I was in a really good place. But when I was recording these cover songs, not so much. But they were really cathartic, and I found I found places in my voice where I didn't even know existed, you know, and I had started getting these really lovely low tones, and so yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be doing this year is promoting these and getting back into you know, the swing of things. Yeah, creating and performing, because you know that's where I really shine as well. And you know what it's like if you haven't performed for a while, it can be a little bit scary, but you just know you have to do it.
It's there, absolutely. And I think that the lucky thing about being an artist as well is that, as shitty as it is going through these periods of pain, they're phenomenal fuel. I lost my father on my 21st birthday, and they are phenomenal fuel for your voice, for your creativity, for your lyric writing, for everything. Like if you channel that pain to the correct way, that is like good bolster material for your future as well, you know. So no, you have to channel the energy, because if you don't, then you're only going further down. Then you know. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am so pleased that even though it's still relatively quite fresh, that you're still smiling, you're still shining, you're doing these beautiful covers at the moment. And I, for one, because I'm a fan, I'm quite excited about the original material coming out in the not too distant future.
Well, you're very welcoming, and you're so easy to talk to. I feel like
I'm a gas bag, mate. I live in the jungle.
I feel like all that is missing is the cup of tea and my custard creams, basically.
I've not had them for 3 years. It's really funny living here. You really do take for granted the things that bring you comfort. So I'm actually stockpiling through people that are coming to like visit the area. I'm like, can you bring me out a can of baked beans?
I was just thinking, can of baked beans, HP brown sauce, Tetley
salad
tea,
cream, tea bags. Yeah. These are things like, if you offered me bullion, if I'd been without tea for 6 weeks and you offered me a small box of PG tips, I would take that PG tips over the bullion. 100%.
I'm sure.
Brings me my comfort. It makes me who I am and takes me back to the bit. And like, you know, I was saying, like, everything changed for me here. I lost my culture, my language, my climate, my memories. I can't go down the road and say, oh, I sung here when I was 14, or my nan took me here for coffee, or me and my dad used to go fishing here. I've got nothing here. The only thing that I've got that can take me back to who I was for the 40 odd years before I came here is my music.
Yes.
You know, is the things I listen to. So I've become more melancholy and more kind of like, I'm going back to, I mean, because I'm, you know, quite a bit older. So my music goes everything from what my nan used to listen to, the Vera Lynn's, and then the Ella Fitzgerald, to ABBA and Cliff Richard, Olivia Newton-John. And so I'm literally in my car driving through the jungles of Mexico listening to, I don't know, like Banks of the Ohio by Olivia Newton-John. I ask my love to take. And the most amazing thing, because I sing in events now, I'm now called the British Boy of Ballads. So I'll sing anything. I mean, I still do a bit of like ABBA and disco and stuff as well towards the end of the night to please, some of the older ladies. I'm British Boy of Ballads, so it's really amazing for me because now I can sing everything that I love to listen to. So I can do Where Do Broken Hearts Go by Whitney Houston, Banks of the Ohio by, Olivia, Superstar by the Carpenters, because the Carpenters were my go-to.
I love the Carpenters. We've only just begun.
We need to, right, listen, I've got a project that I'm just starting. It's called It's 2 O'Clock. And I'm doing duos like remotely, so you'd record your bit, I record my bit, we put them together, do little home videos just for YouTube. It's 2 o'clock, where I think we need to cover a Carpenter's track.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. We might have to change the key. That's the only thing, because she was rich. She has such a deep voice.
Absolutely, I've changed all her keys, darling, because
I was scared.
Yeah. But I love that. But her voice was just. I got chucked out the choir because I was such a shit singer in school, and then I got really addicted to Karen Carpenter and the way that the softness of her vibrato and the way her music kind of flowed up and down like long ago, and I was like, oh my god. So now I've been able to, because I'm kind of not, I'm still doing classical stuff as well, but now because I can do what I want, I can really play around with my voice, following kind of like the routines of Karen Carpenter and, you know, Diana Ross and stuff. And it's so much fun being an artist now when you don't have that constraint of what the pigeonholes that you need to fit into, right?
No, of course it is kind of like, well, if you like me, then, you know, come along for the ride. If you don't, then please find somebody else.
And there's something for everyone, you know. Like someone said to me, "Do you think you're a versatile artist?" And I went, "Probably no, actually, because I'm baritone, so I can't even sing. I'm baritone. I can't even really. All the good boy singers are tenors, right? I can't do tenors. So I just sing what I can sing and what I'm comfortable with. And I thought I'm going to make a list of all the songs I have in my set and how many artists I actually cover. Up until a month ago, I cover 163 different artists.
Oh my gosh!
Actually, I think I'm pretty, you know, and I've got like Dua Lipa, Ed Sheeran. I think versatile. Yeah, I don't think I'm versatile because I always sound like me in the song. You know, but looking at it, I'm the bleeding Don, mate. You know, do you know Elvis? I know Elvis. I know Sting. Dionne Warwick, yeah, got that. Winans, yeah. Gospel, yeah. Country, yeah, can do it.
I love it.
It ain't going to sound like Dolly Parton. It's going to be me singing that, but I can still do it and make it, you know, your ears aren't going to bleed. You know, that's still an okay sound. So, yeah, and that's thanks to COVID. Shit situation, but wonderful experiences have come from that.
So do you like all the old 50s, like, you know, Frank Sinatra and Doris Day and all those?
But yes, now my learning list that I listen to in my car is Fly Me to the Moon, and I've got One Enchanted Evening.
Oh, lovely.
And what other ones? It's like When We're Dancing Cheek to Cheek. So I'm learning all these swing and kind of the Frank Sinatra kind of vibe now, because I was singing Nat King Cole. Unforgettable, that's what you are. And because of that, the next song on the playlist was Frank Sinatra singing, I don't know, One Enchanted Evening or something. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I really want to sing that. And these are all boys that are kind of, I'm like, if I was born 30 years younger, I would have been so famous. I would have been, you know, plaid jumper, rocking chair. I would have given Val Doonican a big run for that boy's money. You know, I would have been crooning Central, you know. But so now I'm kind of starting to get that flavour. I never liked it then, but now because that's what I do, I'm listening to Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé and stuff like that. I'm thinking, oh my God, I really want to cover that track now, because
they're lovely songs, I think, to cover, because you can just really sing them and make them your own. You know, there's no right or wrong way to sing any of those.
No, absolutely. And Engelbert Humperdinck, who would have thought that Jaden Cornelious would ever be singing Engelbert? But he's like, and Tom Jones. I mean, Tom Jones is tenor, so he's a little bit high in the majority of his songs. But, you know, Engelbert Humperdinck, Barry Manilow, I couldn't stand these artists. But now Mandy is one of my favourite songs.
Oh, Mandy.
And I love singing it, and I sound good singing it. Like, not blowing my own trumpet, but the audience is like, oh my God, because they didn't expect me to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think you need to need a little bit of Dean Martin in there as well.
Yeah, I'm checking. You need to, when this interview's over, you need to, if you hear some ideas and think, oh, that'd be good for Jaden, send me links.
No, I will. Well, the thing is, because before I, you know, decided that was it, I'm going to be a solo artist, I had a company called Ice Creams and Ponytails, and I used to just literally sing 50s music. I'd be all dressed up in like a old 50s dress with bright red lipstick and all hair like big tail.
How super cool.
And because like I said before, you know, I used to listen to all male singers, so Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all of those, you know, really suited me. And because of the style, you can change up the keys and everything.
Absolutely.
To suit you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that I'd love to hear you sing some Dean Martin.
We've got a bit of work going on, sister. I think there's a few duets over the next couple of years, I think, that we can plan. When we're bored and there's nothing coming up, we'll be like, right, where's Natasha?
I've opened Pandora's box, haven't I?
Absolutely. But how exciting. It's always great to collaborate and to work with other artists. That keeps us fresh, and, you know, you could probably teach me so much with the way you interpret your music, and I might have a couple of ideas, you know, the way I sing that Okay, you're booked, sister. That's it now. And people at home, you've witnessed this, all right? So if she don't sing with me, you guys get onto her. Just saying, all right? Listen, we're nearly coming to end this interview, but I want to do one thing, which is kind of a bit off the cuff.
Yeah.
This is called quickfire.
Oh no!
Yes. Oh yes, but it is quite easy. Okay, I'm going to throw at you 2 words. You are going to tell me the one that resonates with you in that moment. You cannot pass, but you can say, actually, I don't like it. So if I said snakes and scorpions and you don't like either, you'll be like, nah, Jaden, I don't like any of that.
Okay.
But you can't say pass. And it's very quick. It's just a way for my 13 3/4 fans to know you in a more intimate fashion.
So is it more of like what I like or just what I resonate with?
What, like if I said, for example, if I said
Have a test.
cats or dogs.
Oh, dogs. Okay.
There you go. See, it's going to be that. It's nothing too in depth. Like, you know, you ain't got to get like your lawyer available or anything like that. Or, you know, it's all quite easy. Okay, are you ready? Natasha Hardy.
I am.
This is your quickfire. Rainy days or snow?
No.
Halloween or Christmas?
Neither.
Oh, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Mornings or night?
Nights.
YouTube or TikTok?
YouTube.
Party or romantic night in?
Party.
Yeah. Endless love? No, endless money or true love? Or endless love who's got lots of money?
You can see where I was going with
it. Where you're rolling, darling. We're on the same page. Haagen-Dazs or Ben and Jerry's?
Neither. I'd rather have a sorbet. I hate ice cream.
Oh, okay. And Frank Sinatra or Jaden Cornelious?
Jaden Cornelious. Every
amazing. It's amazing how many people pick me. I'm so humbled. Darling, thank you so much for your time. You are phenomenal talent. I love what you're doing. Obviously, towards the end of the show, the kids are watching this are gonna say in too deep. Sorry. Yeah, they're gonna see that before we exit this show, and we're gonna chat again because you've got some new projects coming up. So we're gonna chat and put that out on our Jaden Show special. Very difficult to say here to be.
Jaden Show special. There you go.
Jaden Show special. That's it.
Don't say that after a few tequilas.
You couldn't, mate. I couldn't even say it on a sniff of one, to be fair.
Jaden Show special. Jaden Show
special.
You can't do it.
Say kind of almost like Downton Abbey. Jaden.
No, yes.
Special.
You have to put your very posh voice
Absolutely. You're bloody amazing. I've had such a nice chat with you, and like I said, I think we're going to be having to do some future collaborations in it.
I think so, definitely. Thanks.
Good luck with everything, honey, and we'll definitely catch up soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Well, I can kind of feel myself drooling now at the thought of cup of tea and custard fruit biscuits. It's been such a long time. That was such a wonderful chat with Natasha. I wish her all the luck in the world. I thank you guys for joining in and for coming to see me again this Sunday. It's always lovely to see you and to introduce to you parts of my world and phenomenally talented people. So I'm really, really grateful. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to share. Please don't forget to leave a comment. And please subscribe. It helps me so much. You have no idea. You're doing me a great favour. Get your friends to subscribe. It's just one click of a button. That would be amazing. I'm not going to leave you hanging with no more entertainment for the rest of the day or until next Sunday. I'm going to leave you with one song more by the beautiful and talented Natasha Hardy. This is called Mi Retiro. It's a very beautiful song. Enjoy it. See you next week on The Jaden Show.